Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful. Welcome to another lesson for Lady Khadija. May God be pleased with her online college. And today it's A-level maths, carrying on with simplifying algebra. This time we're going to be looking at expanding single brackets. Let's go straight into it. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful. This one, we will start very simply. We are going to just expand minus 3y times 7y minus 4. So even though we don't see a times sign, you have to imagine there's a times sign just here between the opening term and the first single bracket. So that times sign has to apply to everything within the brackets. So you just have to do it one at a time. Doing the first one, minus 3y times 7y, that would be minus 21y squared. Then have a think about the next one. Again, it's a times, so it's minus 3y times minus 4. Luckily here we've got two minuses, so two minuses become a plus. So we can write the plus here and forget about the minuses. So it's 3y times 4, so that would be 12y. So sometimes having lots of minuses can help you, because when you're timesing a pair together, you know it's going to become a plus. Otherwise, you do have to slow yourself down a little bit, because it's very easy when you're multiplying just to forget that actually they're both minus and you end up with the wrong sign here. But this one done properly is minus 21y squared plus 12y. Let's take a look at another one. So this time, if you just keep that in mind, what you've just done, we'll do single bracket again, but this time without the minuses so much, but this time we'll have the powers. So we have to deal with the powers using what we learned in the first lesson. So imagine we have a y squared times, in brackets, 3 minus 2y cubed. So same technique as before, y squared has to be timesing everything in the bracket. Y squared times 3, that should be easy enough. Just going to remove the previous example so it's nice and clear what we're going to do. Y squared times 3, that's 3y squared. Now take your time on the next one. We've got y squared times minus 2y cubed. So put the minus in first, or you can put the sign in later. It's up to you. I prefer just to get it over and done with. So we know it's a minus. So now we're looking at y squared times 2y cubed. The only number here is the 2. There's no number here. So we know 2 times 1 is going to be 2. So now we're just left with the y's. So we've got y squared times y cubed. So remember, add the powers. You've got squared times 3, power 3. So it's going to be y as the base, but the 2 plus the 3 is going to make 5. So its final answer is 3y squared from the 3 times the y squared minus 2y to the power 5 from the y squared times the minus 2y cubed. And let's move on to the next example. So building it up slowly, we are going to take it just one level further. So now it's still single brackets, but this time in the brackets, we're going to have, let's stick to y, we are going to have 3 terms. So 3y, take away 2y squared, plus 5y cubed. And I'll put the powers in a second. So here, the same technique will work, but you just have to convince yourself that everything is no harder than before. So we are just going to do 4y timesing everything within the brackets. So one at a time, 4y times 3y. That should be 12y squared. Have a think on the next one. 4y times minus 2y squared. The minus, because of this minus here, the 4 times the 2 makes 8, and the y times the y squared, that's going to be y cubed. And one more to go now. We've got 4y times 5y cubed. Both are positive, so we can put a positive in there. The 4 times the 5 is 20, and the y times the y cubed, that would be y to the power 4. Because remember, y is really y to the power 1, so that would be adding 1 to what's already there, which is 3. So final answer is 12y squared minus 8y cubed plus 20y to the power 4. Hopefully you're okay with those two examples, and now for the final example using everything you've learned and a little bit of the simplifying that you learned in GCSE. So this one is 2 single brackets, 2y times the 5y plus 3. That's a nice easy one to start off with, but then the question carries on with minus 5 and then in brackets 2y plus 3. So it looks long, but what you have to understand is that it's only the multiplication is only happening for one bracket at a time. So there's the multiplication, the 2y is multiplying by 5y and then the plus 3. No multiplication here, that's not a multiplication, that's a subtraction. So we are going to multiply separately the 5 times the 2y and 5 times the 3. Let's see how that works. Let's do one multiplication at a time. 2y times 5y. Think about that. 2 times 5 is 10. Y times y is y squared. So that one's done. We can kind of tick it off. 2y times the plus 3. So that would be plus. They're both positive. 6y. So we can tick this off now. So that's the whole first bracket done. Now with this one, because the minus, you want to just bring that minus a bit closer to the 5 and think of that as minus 5 that's being multiplied. That way you'll naturally not miss out any minuses when it comes to having a plus and a minus or a minus and a minus. So here we're doing minus 5 times the 2y. That's minus 10y. And then we're doing the same minus 5 times the 3. That's minus 15. So now you've done the multiplications, taken care to include the minus as well where we needed to. So now it's just a question of simplifying it. Are there any terms which can be combined? Y squared doesn't look like it's got any other y squared. The minus 15 doesn't look like it's got any other number without any other y next to it. So that looks like it's not going to simplify against anything. The 6y and the minus 10y, that can be combined. So we'll end up with 10y squared will stay as 10y squared. The 6y and the minus 10y, let's combine that. That's going to be minus 4y. And then the minus 15 has nothing else to combine with, so that stays as minus 15. So final answer is 10y squared minus 4y minus 15. That was a bit of a long one, so let's just make sure you got all the steps there. It's nothing, no step is beyond what you've already covered at GCSE really. So it's 2y times 5y. Let's do that. That's 10y. The next one is 2y times 10y squared. 2y times 3 is 6y, positive, so that's a plus. Then we go on to the next multiplication. It's minus 5 times the 2y. That's minus 10y. And then minus 5 times the 3 is minus 15. And then just look for anything you can simplify. And the y's you can simplify. So final answer, 10y squared minus 4y minus 15. Thank you for joining me. Tomorrow we'll look at more simplifying, but we'll take a focus on division. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace be with you and the mercy and blessings of God.